Hey folks, Tracy here. I'm just going to walk you through what I do to add closed captioning to the videos that I create for my various classes, whether it be assignment descriptions or, lectures for online or hybrid environments, whatever the case might happen to be. This is how I add captions to my videos to help make them a bit more inclusive. Obviously for folks that have hearing impairments, but also I've found that our students whose English is their second language or students who have attention difficulties have asked for captioning. It just helps them process the material. And I've also had students tell me that particularly when they're working at home, they might be in a really loud environment that's very hard for them to actually hear videos. So the closed captioning allows them to watch those videos. So just thought I would walk you through how to do it on YouTube. That's what I do. And certainly if others have other strategies to do this, please share with us, and the Diversity Inclusion Committee will get that information out to everyone. So I'm on my YouTube page here, and I'm going to go into my YouTube Studio, which is the editor for YouTube, if you haven't used it before. And I'm going to go to a video. I found one a little bit earlier that I hadn't put captions on because it's from a couple years ago. So just give me a second to navigate to it. I use videos a lot for my classes, and I find that a lot of times they're not videos that I would want to spend the time or investment to send to SAS or whatever the case may happen to be to get them transcribed. So that's why I've tried to teach myself how to do it. So here I have a video I'm using about leisure for one of my classes that doesn't have closed captioning. So the first thing that I'm going to do is as I hover over this video, I can open the menu and you can see a variety of options, including edit the title and description. And what I actually want to go into is this little pencil that gives me the details. Okay, and now in YouTube Studio, they have an area called subtitles. So if we click on this, what you're going to see is a couple things. First, if I had just uploaded the video and it's still processing, all you would see is this bottom entry here. Okay, you would see an area where if I wanted to, I could add my own subtitles. So for instance, if you create a script or a transcript that you read from to create your videos, you can actually upload that transcript and YouTube will do the syncing for you. Okay, I tend not to use a script as I'm doing my videos, so that's not an option available for me. But usually if I wait, depending on the length of the video, if I wait like half an hour to an hour, then that's when this area pops up for me. And this is the automatically generated captions that YouTube generates based on basically listening to my video, and it auto generates captions. Now what we've learned is that these captions that they auto generate they are not ADA compliant, and they're not super great. Okay, so I've learned a couple tricks just to go in and make some simple changes to the captions just to go that little extra mile to make them extra helpful. The other thing I want to point out on this screen that I learned in a class that Olivia, Sherry, and I are taking right now is this community contributions area. And so I have them set to off right now, but I could turn this on for this video, and that means that anyone viewing the video could contribute captions if they want to. Now the videos that I use for my classes, I always set the privacy as unlisted, so it would be only students who had the links would be able to access the video, but I don't know. I'm not super optimistic that a random student would want to go in and add in their own captions, but you could certainly turn that on too. But what I'm going to show you here is these automatically generated captions, what I tend to do to go in and just make some adjustments. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on again, the little menu, and you can open Edit on Classic Studio. Okay. And so what this brings up to you is you can see your video, you can see the auto-generated captions here. Okay. And you can do this one of two ways. You can go ahead and download the file. I usually, if I do download it, I download it as this SBV file that has the timings like linked to it. So any edits that I make, I just re-upload it and it overwrites these captions. But for me, I am pretty lazy, so I like to take the most simple way possible. So you can edit them right here. Okay, and it doesn't take too long to go through and do some simple edits that will really enhance how effective these captions are. So the first thing that you'll notice about the captions is that it is one long sentence. There's absolutely no punctuation. So that's one thing that I like to go through and do, is just go through and go in and add the punctuation. So I'm going to try to find the end of this sentence. I tend, by the way, when you do this, you learn how many run-on sentences you use, or at least that's what I learned. So I would go in and I can't find the end of the sentence right now, but I would go in and, of course, find the end of the sentence, add in some commas, those type of things that would help the readability of the captions. The other thing you'll notice is that you'll see that every caption is like 2 lines, right? And sometimes those lines are breaking up a phrase and it's just kind of awkward, right? So for example, this one, hey everyone, as we head into our second to last week together on our, then you have to wait to the next caption to come up to finish that sentence. And so I like to, and I've learned from others, to go ahead and just try to do the captions so that it captures a phrase, okay? And it's really easy here in this editor. So I would add a comma here anyways, right, in terms of grammar. And then all you need to do if you want to kind of change up where the captions cut is I added a comma, and then if I press enter, then I'm splitting up that caption, okay? But again, I still have 2 captions here that kind of break up a phrase. And so if I want to combine this part with the previous caption, I just have to put my cursor at the front here, and if I hit delete, it automatically jumps it up to that previous caption. So now you can see on the screen here, I have a full phrase on the screen. Okay, now you can go through and you can see here that you can really precisely look at the timing and line up the timing, but really the point here is if this phrase stays on the screen a little bit longer than what folks hear me say, that's okay, right? It's more thinking about the readability for someone who's really relying on those captions to understand the material. So I go through, I check punctuation, I check phrasing, and then of course I'm checking to see if there's any silly mistakes, right? So I've actually found that there are fairly few like actual downright mistakes in what shows up in my transcript, but if I'm talking fast or mumbled or I get excited or whatever the case may happen to be, there's certainly words in here that I'm like, oh, that's not the right word. So I do want to go through and just make sure that the words themselves are okay, right? But it's very easy to go in, and for a video like this, it takes me 5 extra minutes to go through and make some edits to make this really usable for folks that are relying on them. The final thing you can do, what Olivia, Sherry, and I learned this week in our Unable Your Course CTLT class, is the difference between subtitles and closed captioning, right? So subtitles is what YouTube provides and what's provided right now, which is only a translation of what I'm saying in this video, whereas closed captioning is including any other sound indicator. So for example, some of my videos that I make might have music or other things involved with them. And so if you've ever watched closed captioning, you'll notice that in brackets it'll say like soft music playing in the background or whatever the case may happen to be. So that could be another thing that you could add to your videos, particularly if that extra sound is important for the students learning as they're taking away from your video. Okay. Once I'm done with all those changes, all I do is I hit save changes and those updates have been made. And so anytime someone goes into the video, once you've done this, once you've added the subtitles, this area, the CC area will appear on the video when you share the link. And all they have to do is turn that on and you hit play and you'll see the captions, right? So let's see if it'll work. So you see now that the captions are there. Okay, so I hope this is helpful. Again, I have really started to try to spend the extra 5 minutes to do this for each of my videos. And a reminder that once you go into your video, once you've uploaded your video, this line won't appear automatically. So don't fret, but do recognize that there's going to be a delay between when you upload the video and when you can go in and access the automated captions. So you just need to plan ahead a little bit because you won't be able to, 15 minutes before class, you won't be able to upload the video, do the captions, and then head to class. It's something that you'll need to plan ahead for just a little bit. Hope this is helpful. Obviously, if you have any questions, I am not an expert at this at all. These are just things that I've learned along the way from others that I wanted to share with you.